Those of you who haven't met, I'm the current president of ISSIP, having taken over from Charlie back in January. So welcome to our quarterly board meeting. We can go ahead and go to the agenda, that's fine. So you can see the meeting agenda here. It's got a lot of different items. We try and keep you all updated on the things we're doing, particularly because things are changing quickly, of course. I won't go through the list here in detail, but you can see we'll have various people updating us on the areas that they are specifically involved with. I'd like to start off on the next page, just going through an overview of some of the programs and things we've put in for 2015. And I'd note that these are our initial set of goals and objectives, and we've tried to narrow it down to what we think is a doable amount, but ones that we think will all help grow value for industry members as well as individual members and help us to kind of shape how we see ISSIP going forward. At the same time, we are in the process of continuing to discuss this. We have a meeting set up actually in a couple of weeks with some of the board members to discuss through what are the things that we would get the most value from, where are the areas we could push in more, and what do we really want ISSIP to be. So I imagine this will continue to evolve over time. And of course, as always, we're interested in feedback from any of you on the phone after this, either by email or as questions here with thoughts that you might have on what we can do as well. So starting from the beginning, obviously we're going to get more activities going on. So we're setting up a series of different types of meetings and get-togethers. One is the Service Innovation Business Meetup, we're calling. And the goal is to provide an opportunity for industry leaders to do some networking, exchange ideas, and do something around service innovation trends. So these will be, these will be set up in person, although we will, of course, have telecom connections as well for folks. But the idea of this is to have an opportunity for us to get together to talk about where we see things going, interesting new trends, things we might want to pursue. But it's also a bit of a recruiting opportunity too. So we want to be using these to invite in other industry members who are not part of ISSIP currently. Maybe they have individuals in their company who are, but the institution themselves is not. So we'd like to have them join as well and hopefully convince them of some of the value that they can get out of ISSIP as an industry member, as well as see if they have ideas on things that would make it more attractive to them. We're also going to have a little bit larger events, such as the Industry-Oriented Service Innovation Discovery Summit. And these are really more around a specific focus topic and would be more technical in nature in terms of actually having speakers who are experts in a specific field coming to talk about that area. We see them as being 1 to 2 day summits. Workshops going on, and we have the first one organized around big data and service, which you'll hear about on the very next part. This is something that we think we should want to be doing as on a regular basis. We also intend to be continuing to have a speakers series by phone as well, so that we can do something more regularly, probably on a monthly basis. We may use some of the education SIG calls that they already got set up. There's a group of people who already listen to those. We may expand those out. So those, of course, will be more like hour-long talks and really are just to bring up topics of interest that people might be wanting to hear about from academic members or industry members or they're just thought leaders in the industry. We also are going to start a new SIG around standards. One of the suggestions that was made several months ago was that ISSIP could be very effective at helping to influence standards that are emerging in service innovation. As you're all aware, there really aren't that many standards out there, or standard bodies even out there looking at this. But there are spaces, say around IoT or things like that, where there is a need for standards to be created. We all know this. Some of those will be strictly technical standards, and there are technical bodies that can already handle those. But we really do think that some of these will require thinking about how the service aspect of it fits in, how different entities work together, and coming up with standards for that is actually something that ISSIP as a group could do perhaps more effectively than individual companies. We intend to continue to expand the industry-oriented SIGs. We currently already have one on software-defined networks and cognitive computing being led by IBM, as well as ones on practical service innovation framework and service design being led by Cisco. The thing that's nice about an industry-oriented SIG is presumably that it's on a topic where the industry feels like it needs to be getting input from a diverse set of people external to their own individual companies. So we definitely encourage folks, if there are other topics they'd like to pursue, to let Yasi and us know, and we can certainly try and grow those as well. We're also going to institute a formal annual awards program that would publicly recognize and promote contributions in service innovation globally of ISSIP members. So this is, of course, similar to what a lot of other professional societies do. We have a straw man already put together on what we think might be an interesting set of awards to begin with. And as we put those together, we'll be also, of course, getting your feedback as to whether or not they seem to be targeting the right areas. And lastly, of course, we'll continue to encourage our members to collaborate on white papers, books, other publications on topics that we find from some of the workshops and things we do here, or other things that we just think are worth mentioning, or things that come out of the SIGs themselves. And the whole goal here is to give our industry members guidance on the latest service science trends, since that's not always something that they see in their daily jobs. Okay, with that, let's go on to the next page. I'd just like to welcome 2 new volunteers. As we all know, ISSIP survives on volunteers. So thanks very much to Tayfun Keskin, who's joined now and is actually our co-chair of our IoT, ISSIP IoT, along with Amar. I'm not sure if Tayfun is on the call or not today, but if not, welcome, and we appreciate your help as ISSIP continues to grow and expand. And also to Christoph Peters, who's been working on the Higgs 2015 white paper already and is going to be helping us not only with that, but also with some follow-up from other conferences in the future. So welcome, Christoph, as well. And with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Yasi to go to the next speaker.
Hi, everyone. This is Yasi Moghadam. Jeff covered some of the programs. One of the things that Jeff mentioned was the ISSIP Service Innovation Speaker Series. And as he mentioned, we're expanding 2 categories of speaker series. One is in-person speaker series, and the other one is what we call e-speaker series, which is online. The Service Innovation Speaker Series is an in-person session, and the goal really is based on the feedback that we got from the membership and the leadership team and the board, is to help our members basically with speaking opportunities, demonstration of thought leadership, and networking opportunities with peers. So this is really intended for that. And we are now targeting 2-hour sessions, looking at Wednesdays, second Wednesday of each month. And there'll be live streams, and of course WebEx will be used to record the series. And we're looking at a kickoff of May. And the first speaker will be announced soon. And then the e-speaker series is thanks to Haluk Demirkan and Jim Sporer, who have been running the education and research SIG presentations. They have collected close to 100 presentations and audio files, corresponding audio files. That call goes on Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 8, and what they are now offering is opening that slot up to all SIGs and all ISSIP members. So we're really excited about that, and invite all members to participate and all SIGs to participate and take advantage of really the cross-collaboration that can, and then cross-pollination that can happen with those calls. Then Jeff also mentioned the Service Innovation Discovery Summit. I won't go into what he has already covered. We are looking at doing a 2-day, I would call it a trial pilot, starting June 2nd and 3rd. Some of you have already gotten the draft announcement, and we're asking for feedback. And the topic of that first Discovery Summit is going to be data science meets customer experience, and we're going to look at how predictive analytics can help us with all the, can help basically institutions with all the touch points of customer experience. And we're doing this in partnership with Consortium for Service Innovation. As you all know, ISSIP is an umbrella organization. We work with other professional associations to co-create value. And this is really a great example of what we have been working on with Greg Uxton, the Executive Director of Consortium for Service Innovation. And many thanks to him. We're building this program. And also San Jose State University and Professor Steve Kwan, who's the Associate Dean of the Business School, has also agreed to sponsor, be one of the sponsors of this event. Next, a few more words about what we're doing on influencing standards. Back in February, we sent a questionnaire out to all membership, ISSIP membership, and we got 22 responses back. Several categories of standards were identified. We got a number of people indicating that they would volunteer if ISSIP had a standard SIG towards basically driving the service aspects of standards. And currently, we're talking to some members who have indicated interest in running a SIG standard. What really right now we're looking for is a chair who could work with these members who have already identified themselves as interested in working in this SIG. So the call is still open. We are talking to some members, but the call is still open. So if anyone is interested, send Jeff and I an email. We'll be happy to next, I'll actually, before I turn it to Huluk, Huluk will talk about other conferences and events as the chair of the conferences committee. That first item is something that I'll say a few words about. We are developing this with Dr. Zami Temesgen from Mayo Clinic, who's a fellow at the Mayo Clinic and is an ISSIP member and is our ambassador to Mayo. We're doing a workshop. We call it Prescription for Africa, or that's what Zami and his team have proposed that we call it. And the goal of this is really to create an ecosystem around medical education, something that is a big challenge in Africa in general. And we're starting with this workshop in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, end of this month. So with that, I'll turn it to Huluk to cover other events. Huluk?
Hi, thank you, Yassi. As everybody remembers, as a ISSIP, we want to be T-shaped organization, and we have been evangelizing being the T-shape, and also interlinking to various organizations. Basically, these are some of the conferences we are planning to participate during the 2015. The second one is about the ISSIP at the third ISSIP Sociology. It will be held in San Jose in July. And the third one is about the Frontiers Conference, again in San Jose. And the following one is about the human side of service engineering in Las Vegas. An industry symposium ISSIP will held, and ISSIP Namoda at UK. So as you notice, we are trying to increase the global the participation of the ISSIP. Jim, would you like to say a couple words? I know you are very closely involved with some of these conferences.
Yeah, I'm the co-chair of the IC-Serve and the Frontiers Conference in July. So we've got those it's the week of July 6th, so 2 great conferences. We've got super keynotes for both of these conferences. I think combined there's about 10 keynote speeches. There's a bus tour in between them in the middle. So if you're not planning to be in San Jose in that week of July, you're going to miss some great opportunities. There'll be hundreds of people interested in service innovation, service science, service research. So definitely think about that. I do also want to mention, not shown on this slide, the Higgs Conference. Luke and I and several others are working very closely together to have a great ISSIP presence at the Higgs Conference. That's roughly the first week, or I think the first week of January in Hawaii, and there'll be a tremendous amount of activity around all sorts of service system related topics, including Internet of Things, cloud, analytics, big data, data science, service science, of course, system science. So that's another one to get on the calendar. And Luke, did you want to say anything more on that, or?
No, we can go to the next one. About the Higgs Conference, we will make more announcements, because we will have IBM Watson tutorial at the Higgs Conference that will be free to conference attendees, and the other one is we will have a session, like a refereed research paper session at Higgs. The deadline for the papers will be is June 15, so we will put some announcements on those.
Yeah,
thank you, Jim.
June 15th is the deadline, so you've got a little bit of time to get papers and stuff ready for that.
Right.
Okay, so the next chart I think I'm presenting as well. Yes. So this is our Cognitive Systems Institute Group Speaker Series. This is a new community of interest that we're just getting started. Diane Fidel runs this. It's a weekly call. There's a speaker series posted of very interesting talks related to developing cognitive assistance. As many of you know, the National Science Foundation has a big push around smarter service systems, and one of the ways you make a service system smarter is you have cognitive assistance for the people inside the service system. So cognitive assistance for doctors, cognitive assistance for lawyers. And so we're having a great series of talks. They are recorded. The presentations are online. There's a URL there you see, 15 calls completed. And there's a LinkedIn group. There's a URL there for the LinkedIn group discussions. Cognitive is still in an early stage, so this is, going to be one of those slow boils as more and more capabilities are made available. We see this evolving eventually into a SIG someday, a cognitive SIG for ISSIP. But if you're interested, it's a great way to get involved and to get started meeting some ISSIPers who care about this important area for the future. So Yasi, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. Okay, back to Haluk and you. Jim or Haluk?
Sorry, I was on a mute. I apologize. Yes, we can start, I guess, with the updates from each SIG. This SIG Education and Research SIG have been co-chaired with Jim and I for almost, little over 2 years. So in this time frame, so far we have around 113 members. And as Yasi mentioned earlier, we have been running weekly 30-minute conference calls, and most of these are included presentations. So far about 80+ presentations we were able to run, and thanks to Lou Fraud, he's a professor at San Jose State University. He was recording most of these. And going forward, we are planning to continue these calls every Wednesday morning, and also planning to open up all these this knowledge repository to all ISSIP members. So we are working how to set up this infrastructure, basically make these presentations and the voice recordings available, so you know, professionals and academicians can use these in education or research purpose. And what else? Jim, would you like to say a couple words on this?
Yeah, thanks, Haluk. So yeah, we've had a really good set of calls. I would say maybe a good 20 of them deal with, you know, best ways of teaching service science management and engineering at different universities and different programs, everything from courses to, we had a great presentation from Spain where they were introducing SSME, Service Science Management and Engineering major for the country. So there's I'd say maybe 25% of them deal with education aspects. And then there's a lot of diversity in the others. We have different approaches to service research, some presentations on the team measurement tool that Professor Lou Freund at San Jose State University has been working on. How do you make sure that after students go through these courses, they do become T-shaped? Then we have other presentations that have dealt with the open data sets for different types of service systems that are becoming available. So there's a great diversity of presentations there. And as both Yassi and Haluk mentioned, we are taking that time slot because we've had a good number, typically anywhere from 10 to 20 ISSIPers show up for every one of those calls every week, sometimes 30 or more for certain calls. And we thought since we had an established audience that was interested in service innovation in general, we'd open it up. And so the Service Innovation Framework, SIG, has got, I think, 3 speakers lined up to talk about different types of service innovation frameworks, and I'm sure there'll be other, you know, SIGs and other members of ISSIP that take advantage of this good time slot for giving speakers an opportunity to present. So thanks, Haluk.
Sure. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. And Haluk, next one is yours also.
Sure. This is also another project Jim and I have been collaborating on. This is a book series we started a few years back with a publisher called Business Expert Press. So the goal of this book series is that we would like to work with professionals and academicians to create some knowledge regarding service innovation, and also disseminate with this knowledge with these booklets. Mostly goes to professional outlets. They are around starts from 70 to 100 pages length, and so far 8 books have been completed, and they are actually very multidisciplinary books in various topics of service innovation, and currently about 16 books are in progress by various authors. So one of the benefits being an ISSIP membership, we made a agreement with publisher that these books will be these books can be bought by ISSIP members with a significant discounted price, which is $5 for digital and $20 for paperback, if you can log in through the ISSIP's website. And if anybody will be interested in knowing more about these books or would like to write one of these books, please let us know so we can provide further information. And the second bullet we have is we are still working with Informs Analytics magazines about how ISSIP members can contribute. If they would like to contribute various articles to these magazines, go to professional readers mostly. So I guess I wasn't sure, Jim, would you like to say a few words, or we can go forward?
Great, Haluk. Let's just go forward.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
you, Yassi.
Thank you, Haluk and Jim. So,
hey, Yassi.
DJ Chrisman, DJ, are you on the call?
Yeah, can you hear me, Yassi?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Hey, sure. So Heather Yurko is our chair, and I'm sitting in for her today. I'm the vice chair of the SIF-SIG. So we've increased our membership to about 34 members this past quarter. And some of the highlights of what we've done and what is in progress, we're working with the Education SIG on establishing a partnership with the speaker series, as Haluk was mentioning, establishing the logistics behind that. They've done a really good job at having these weekly speaker series, and we've had some speakers that we would like to have on their forum. We also are looking at focusing on business practical frameworks. So we have established a library which contains some of what our group feels are the top service innovation frameworks from the industry. And that is something else that we've done this past quarter. As far as growth goes, we would like to have a wider use of social media, so start leveraging LinkedIn and also close speaker partnerships with the global SIGs, which I already mentioned. So that is our update.
Okay, CJ. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And next one is Casimir Dukastis. Casimir, are you on the call? Okay, Casimir may not be on the call. So the SDN SIG, led by Casimir Dukastis from IBM, has been building traction and adding members. It started late last year, and what they've actually participated in some workshops last year, or generating some basically body of knowledge as a result of that, and also their focus is to promote education related to SDN and NVF services, and impact of SDN on services. So they are working on basically different workshops and different events, and their last group meeting was just last week, and they're planning to meet next month. So if anyone is interested in this SIG, please, you can go on the website and reach out to Casimir. Then there is the UE SIG, this is really what we've called the user experience SIG, that is really focused a lot on service design, and the SIG has been by design pretty small. The members wanted to keep it to a small group until they generate a white paper. They've been working on the white paper for a while, looking at service design and empathy, especially as it relates to the B2B space, because there's a lot has been written in this space for B2C space, but the SIG basically sees a need for the B2B space. They have generated a draft white paper, and they have generated a business-focused checklist, which they're not quite ready to go out to the larger community, but they're getting there. They just actually recruited a PhD candidate that would that is going to take the checklist and run it by some industry leaders, and basically our institutional members. We will reach out to them. We'll help the SIG members to reach out to our institutional members to get some feedback and see whether that is of value to industry. They're planning to present the white paper next year at the Service Design Conference that takes place in Europe, and so that's it for the UE SIG. Daniela San Giorgio is the SIG chair, and Don Allen from Cisco is the co-chair of that SIG. And they couldn't be on the call today, so I had the pleasure of presenting to them. The next update is on Students' Open Innovation Coaching Program. As you know, we have been running an Open Innovation Coaching Program for students and student teams for the last couple of years. And 49 students have actually gone through the program, and all of our institutional members and several universities have participated in this program. The program, from the perspective of students and academics and even industry, is validated as being very useful, but the challenge of the program has been really scaling, both on the mentor side. Industry mentors are busy individuals, and also on just scaling the number of student teams that could be supported. So we've been asking the question, basically with the leadership of Juan Caraballo and Jeff Saperstein, how do we scale this program? And right now what we are looking at, Juan Caraballo, who from IBM, who reports to Jim Sporer, and also is a professor at Florida International University, has been running a mentorship program that has been designed really to scale. So at this point, Jeff Saperstein and Juan Caraballo are leading an effort within ISSIP to develop a grant proposal so that we can basically build a scalable student mentoring platform. So this is what the focus of this program will be, and so you'll hear more about that in the coming quarters. Just an update on the membership. Last time, actually this should say as of January 9th, there's a, well, and actually, no, sorry about that. As of March 29th, this is the update. So if there's any additions, there might be a couple of additions. It's not reflected here. And also, last time we presented this was January 9th. And at that time, the total number of membership was 676. So we've had a healthy growth over the last quarter.
Yeah, see, this is Monique. Our target is 1,000 for calendar year 2015. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
Is our target for membership for 2,000 new members for 2015? Is that target for 1,000 new members?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Monique. Yeah. So.
So Monique, I like to suggest that every member invite one new member, and then we would exceed our goal. Every member just brings in one more.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is it's incumbent upon all of us. Absolutely.
Well, thanks. Okay, an update on the institutional members. We've started dialogue with Symantec, especially around the programs that Jeff mentioned at the beginning of the call, and so right now we are in dialogue and getting some interest from Symantec. The other thing is what we're doing is, as we're building these programs that strengthens ISSIP value proposition, we plan to go back to our pipeline and then use those programs to re-engage those in the pipeline and also other potential institutional members. And as always, we're asking the board for help and support to help us move forward with the pipeline.
And then, Yasi, I'd just like to add that I was up at Berkeley last week, I guess, with Sunil Kripalani, who is a board member from Cisco, and I thought Sunil did a great job of reaching out to the executives that were in that Chief Innovation Officer meeting, letting them know about ISSIP. And I think, well, Sunil invited them to an ISSIP meeting in the South Bay, and I think that's the kind of thing that we want to think about with these institutional members is more of those face-to-face meetings and meetups. And obviously, they don't just have to happen in Silicon Valley or San Francisco. They could happen in Austin, Texas. They could happen in Boston or Paris or wherever, there's some ISSIP concentration. I think it really is important as we reach out to institutional members to meet with them face-to-face, create projects together so that they can see the value of ISSIP going forward.
That's well done. That's a great great call out. Thanks, Sunil.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to recognize Jim Sporer and Haluk Demirkan. Jim, who is one of our board members and has been one of the co-editors of the Business Expert Press book series, basically donated all proceeds from the book series and publication of an article in the Magazine of the Information Processing Society of Japan to ISSIP, and Haluk also donated the proceeds of IPSJ to ISSIP. So thank you so much for that donation, Jim and Haluk.
Yeah, thank you from this end also. Great job.
Yasi, just a quick, Jim was also one of the co-authors of this magazine of IPSJ journal article. So, we both were collaborated in that magazine article. So he was part of the contribution.
Thank you.
Thanks. So I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
thank you, Yasi. Thank you, Monique.
Other recognitions. Saula Simon-Type, that many of you know, she's our editor-in-chief and helping us with the content planning of ISSIP content. And she's been contributing to ISSIP. Also, Antonio Padova from University of Calabria. He's been a contributing member of the digital design team. Also, Mike Wang, who's a student from San Jose State University, has been contributing tremendously to the UI UX design of ISSIP websites and logos and everything that has to do with UI. So many thanks to these individuals. Last but not least is an update on the finance.
Hey, Yasi? Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to do one more shout out before.
This is Sunil. Sorry, I was on another line there and I was muted, so I thought I'd just connect back in. A couple comments, if I may, before we switch to the financials. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Yes, Sunil, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Now we can't hear you, Sunil, if you're talking.
Oh, well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. So just one thing, Jim, thank you for the reference to the meeting we had at Cal. I tell you, one of the things that Jim did not mention is he started to talk about innovation, and he absolutely inspired the entire team there in a way that got everybody very, very excited. And I think we do have an opportunity here as ISSIP to engage with that audience. And as Jim said, I think we should host a session either at Cisco or at IBM or any one of our offices. We're certainly happy to do it at Cisco. And I think there's an opportunity for us to expand our membership via innovation forums like the one that Solomon leads at UC Berkeley. And we'll need to be a bit surgical about that, but I think that's an avenue for us to really not only expand membership, but expand visibility on a global basis that we should explore further.
Excellent, Sunil. I'll definitely take that action item to follow up with you.
Yep, and Sunil, we're going to have lunch next Tuesday, and we'll follow up on that then as well, so that's great. I did want to just do one more shout out for Doug Morris and Steve Kwan. They have started a service economics community of interest. They've had a couple calls, and as you know, the measurement of service in the economy, how economists have measured it, and there's many exciting things in that area of service economics, fundamental things that have to be discussed, and Doug and Steve have committed the interest, which may become a SIG someday, to develop a nice set of resource materials for ISSIP around service economics. So I just wanted to do that. Shout out to Doug Morris and Steve Kwan for that, Yasi.
Yeah, and Jim, this is absolutely my bad. And I would like to invite Doug to say a few words. Doug provided a slide to me that should have been in this slide set. So, Doug, would you like to say a few words? I don't mean to put you on spot, but you're certainly welcome.
I think we'll catch him on the next BOD meeting.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hi, baby. Hey, baby boy.
Update on the financials. This is as of 12/31/2014, which was the last report on the financials. We had 87,579, and currently the balance is about 105. So our revenue year to date has been 37,800, and total expenses 2169. And if you do the math, we come up with 105,210. We are expecting minimum receivables of 34,000, depending on different institutional interests that we get. We are hoping that this will be significantly more. And you can see the expenses. I'm not going to go through that. If there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Okay. All right, and I think this concludes the slide portion of the call. Thanks, everyone, and we can now open it to Q&A. If anyone has any questions for the board or would like to share some thoughts, please go ahead.
So, Yasi, this is Jeff. I thought I'd just say a couple words. First of all, obviously, thanks everyone for coming and participating. As I indicated earlier when I was welcoming our new volunteers, the organization clearly runs on volunteers, and we all know how valuable everyone's time is, so we appreciate the time you do put into it. We are going to continue to evolve what we do within ISSIP and hopefully grow and expand what we're working on, and that will require, of course, even more of people's time and therefore more people. And we want to make sure we're doing it in a way that is really serving a real need for you guys, that is coming up with ideas and things that really help enhance your careers, your networks, and the things you're trying to get accomplished within your companies. So please do send us feedback on a regular basis. And participate in as many of the events as you can, and make sure you're spreading the word out to other folks in your organizations broadly so people know and can become interested in joining themselves.
Thanks, Jeff. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. You might be on mute. Make sure that if you're asking questions, you're not on mute.
Yeah, we might, since we have a few minutes, we might invite Amar to say a few words about the awards program, if I'm not putting you on the spot, Amar. I see you're on mute, so maybe it's not a good time to give an update. No, we'll assume not.
That's a baby.
Oh, there's Amar. Hi, Amar. Not sure we can hear you, Amar.
Yeah.
I see you're off mute, though, but no audio's coming through yet. Oh, well. Sometimes I think when there's a new speaker, there's a lag. So, Doug McDavid, are you trying to say something? You can see that.
No, Jim, sorry. I thought I was on mute, so apologies.
No worries. I thought you might be trying to say something because sometimes there's a lag when people are trying to talk.